So today marks 1 year since the passing of Zambia's 6th Republican president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, a year that has been marked not only by remembrance and reflection, but also by continued tensions and back and forth engagements between the Lungu family and the government over issues surrounding his legacy, welfare, and public affairs. Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu did pass away last year on the 5th of June 2025, but he was born on November 11th in 1956. Today we remember his legacy, as well as looking at how the turmoil had actually been going on from today, or from last year today, up until today, the same date, a year later. This, of course, is the Royal Breakfast Show. This is the Friday edition. And remember, you can always call in on the number, which is 0979-958-392. Throughout the whole show, we're going to be looking back as to how we actually find ourselves here and how the body has not been buried and is still in the mortuary. My name is Ndashi, and of course, you can find us on DSTV channel 277, on GoTV channel 23, on Topstar channel 89, DTTM 543 on our Star Times application. You can also find us on the Azam app, and we are streaming live as CrownTVZambia on Facebook, as well as on YouTube, where you can gladly subscribe. And then also, you can send us a text message on the same number, which I did aforemention, which is 0979-958-392.
And to everyone tuning in across the country, yes, 1 year later, the nation remains deeply reflective. ACL, as he was affectionately known, left an undeniable footprint on our political landscape, from his rise in 2015 to his political comeback attempts ahead of 2026. But what makes this anniversary unique and painful is that 12 months later, the legal tug of war over his final resting place is still playing out in foreign courts. And today we are not just looking back at history, we are getting to discuss an ongoing national dilemma. Over the next few hours, we will trace the political journey of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We are also going to be looking closely at the back and forth standoff between the state and the Lungu family, and unpack the latest legal updates, including the recent South African Supreme Court of Appeal hearings. It's going to be an intense one, but thank you so much that you made time to join us once again. Just like Dash has alluded to, this is the Friday edition of the Royal Breakfast Show. My name today, officially now, we have reverted back to Mike Sakala.
And the reason why he's saying that he's reverted back is because yesterday he got caught. However, we'll be talking about that later on in the show. But for now, we're going to take a short break. When we do return, we get to find out what's making the headlines in the Daybreak News this morning. Thanks so much for joining us, and you're just in time to find out what is making the headlines in the Daybreak News this morning. Incarcerated politician Raphael Nakachinda has told the High Court that he has been on a hunger strike for the past 16 days, alleging that he has been denied access to his lawyers and communication with family members while in custody. Mr. Nakachinda informed the court that the restrictions have adversely affected his ability to attend to family responsibilities, including sending financial support and paying school fees for his children.
Incarcerated politician Rafo Nakachinda has complained before the High Court that he has been on a hunger strike for several days, with Thursday marking the 16th day. In an exclusive interview with Crown TV, Ms. Nakachinda says he will continue fighting for his rights until they are respected. He adds that all he can say is that light should shine in darkness, seemingly an endorsement for Brian Mundubile and McCabe Zulu.
Yes. The hunger strike continues until my rights are respected. 16th day. Well, the only thing I can say is that let the light shine in darkness so that we can be redeemed.
During court proceedings, Ms. Nakachinda told the court that he is going through a strange experience at the correctional facility. He says he has not been allowed to communicate with his lawyers despite making applications seeking access to his phones. According to him, the situation has deeply affected both him and his family as he has been unable to make calls to send money and pay school fees for his children. Upon hearing the complaint, the court asked one of the police officers who were present in court whether he could explain the situation. However, the officer stated that he was unable to provide any explanation. The court then ordered Lusaka Central Deputy Officer to appear before court on Thursday, 5th June, to provide an explanation regarding the matter. Now, as the case was about to commence, none of the defense lawyers were present, prompting the court to adjourn the matter to Friday, June the 5th. Only 2 witnesses were present in court, and they have also been directed to attend the proceedings on the adjourned date. Kundej Sachingalesu Ngandu, reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka.
The body of Paramount Chief Mpezeni IV has arrived in Chipata of Eastern Province. The Zambia Air Force plane carrying the body touched down at exactly 12:10 hours yesterday at Chipata Airport, and the government handed over the body to the Ngoni Royal Establishment. Upon arrival in Chipata, the body was transported by road from Chipata Airport to a Ipindukeni Palace at 13:30, where it will lie in state until the day of burial. And in honor of the late traditional leader, President Hakainde Hichilema has declared Tuesday as a day of national mourning. David Sambo has the rest of the details.
The body of Paramount Chief Mpezeni has arrived in Chipata, district of Eastern Province. The Zambia Air Force plane carrying the body touched down at exactly 12:10 hours at Chipata Airport. Government officials formally handed over the body to the Ngoni Royal Establishment. Upon arrival in Chipata, the body was transported by road from Chipata Airport to Ipindukeni Palace at 13:30 hours, where it will lie in state until the day of burial. Business in the central business district came to a standstill as hundreds of Chipata residents and people from all walks of life lined the street to pay their last respect to a paramount who entertained and united them not only during the oral traditional ceremony but also at various other occasions.
All we are trying to do now is to preserve the peace that the country requires.
Government says it is pleased with the unity and oneness demonstrated by Ngoni chiefs during this period of mourning.
It's the leadership that you have shown when other people wanted to make nothing out of a sad development. We are so grateful for your decisive leadership. And I hope that we are learning that there is time for everything. There is time to mourn, there is time to rejoice, there is time to do politics. But when we have a bereavement like this one, it is time for us to unite together in unity and move as one family. So we are so grateful on behalf of government, Royal Highnesses, for the leadership that you have shown. And this is what is deserving for the chief that we are supporting.
Meanwhile, Chief Mazimawe has urged those participating in traditional cousinship, commonly known as Chimbuya, activities to conduct themselves respectively, saying the traditional mourning
Saizi yao ni mwenekazi wawe mbachitimkula ndiye level senior chief nkula wele antile pauda kapena osati pauda ndile unganeko osati mwana mtondo azatile neo unga vili malevo uyu wamwalira imbuya wake wachiti mukuru ndiye chiti zigawo.
The Catholic Church also conducted a Thanksgiving Mass at the Penduken Palace in remembrance of Paramount Chief Mpezeni. The Paramount Chief Mpezeni died on 30th May 2026 at the University Teaching Hospital in Lusaka. The burial of Paramount Chief Mpezeni is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, 9th June 2026 at the Royal Resting Grounds in Feni Village of Chipata. Born David Jere, he was installed as Paramount Chief Mpezeni in 1982 and served the people for more than 4 decades. For Crown TV News, Sambo David, Chipata, Eastern Province.
Meanwhile, Eastern Province Police Commanding Officer Robertson Wemba has warned individuals against causing any form of confusion during the period of mourning of the late Chief Mpezeni. Mr. Mwemba says police are on high alert as people from Zambia and outside gather to mourn the late traditional leader. Let's take a listen.
We are saddened, as I've stated, from some named groupings who want to bring confusion, especially this time around when we are mourning Ngwenyama, Kosiyama Nkosi. There are people who are planning tomorrow, Friday, as they arrive at our airport, Chipata, they have mobilized motorbike riders for them to gain mileage from the airport probably up to Ipenduke, which is an head-off. If those plans are there, can they stop? Because now they are going to see the other side of the police. You cannot gain mileage out of lawlessness. My officers and I were not sleeping. And this information is credible, is valid, authentic, because we are working with our dear people, the community. We are not going to tolerate that.
Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has signed into law 5 bills aimed at strengthening the education sector and improving pension benefits for workers and retirees across the country. The 5 laws include the Education Amendment Act of 2026, the National Pension Scheme Act of 2026, the Public Service Pensions Act 2026, the Pension Scheme Regulation Amendment Act of 2026, and the Local Authorities Superannuation Act of 2026. The signing of the Education Amendment Act entrenches the government's free education policy, which has seen about 2.6 million children return to school since its introduction in January of 2022.
Shortly after forming government in 2021, the United Party for National Development UPND administration introduced the free education policy in an effort to remove financial barriers that prevented many children from accessing education. Since its introduction in January 2022, the policy has seen more than 2.6 million learners return to school, with classrooms across the country recording increased enrollment as thousands of children were given a second chance to learn. To safeguard this achievement, President Hakainde Hichilema has signed into law the Education Amendment Bill of 2026, making free education a legal right and ensuring that future generations continue to benefit from the program. The President signed the bill alongside 4 pension reform laws during a ceremony held at State House in Osaka on Thursday afternoon. Speaking during the signing ceremony, President Hichilema warned that no future government should be allowed to reverse the gains made under the free education policy, describing education as the country's most important investment.
So free education was a policy of this party from opposition for 23 years, consistently. And when we had the opportunity to occupy public office, we said, this is it. Once we introduced it, we realized that someone may come after us and see things differently. So we said, let's embed it in the law so that every child of Zambia can have the opportunity we had, I had, she had, to go to school. That's the motivation. We build skills for the nation.
The President also revealed that government is working to expand access to higher education through the construction of public universities in southern, eastern, western, northwestern, Luapula and Mchinga provinces.
6 provinces of Zambia have no public universities. Northern, Luapula, northwestern, western, eastern, southern province. I have a message. Each of these provinces will have a public university.
This development has since been held by stakeholders in the education and labor sectors.
Today, Your Excellency marks a historical milestone in the development of this nation through your assent to the following bills: the Education Amendment Bill 2026, the Public Service Pensions Bill 2026, the Local Authorities Superannuation Fund Bill 2026, the Pension Scheme Regulation Amendment Bill 2026, and the National Pension Scheme Bill 2026.
Minimum pension will rise from 1,861 to 2,327. What a game changer. What a game changer.
Reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka, Chanda Mwango.
In other news this morning, President Hakainde Hichilema has questioned what opposition leaders seeking public office ahead of this year's general election will do if elected into office. President Hichilema says his government has worked hard to implement several reforms to revive the country's economy, which he says was collapsing before his administration assumed office. He says reforms such as debt restructuring have seen the country's debt obligation reduce to $900 million per year from $1.4 billion per year. Let's take a listen.
When people say no, they are coming back, I say, to do what? To occasion more damage, so we can spend 3 years working on the debt restructuring again? The little things we've done in these 4 years and 9 months, we spent 3 years on debt restructuring. Imagine if we came in after the balance sheet was cleaned up in 2011. Today, this country would have been in a totally different place. We lost 10 years after 2011. Totally lost it. And now the colleagues want to come back. To do what? You can change the nameplate that you are now a different creature. You are the same. You can change the name. You can change the t-shirt color. You are the same. This is not a joke. I'm serious. My heart bleeds. I hope your heart bleeds. It's scary.
Now let's wrap it up with sports news, as the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has set its sights on winning the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, scheduled to take place in July. FAZ General Secretary Charles Chakatazia says the association's ultimate ambition is to see the Copper Queens lift the continental crown, having previously reached the final of the competition. Speaking in an interview in Lusaka, Chakatazia expressed confidence in the team's preparations ahead of the tournament. He also declared Zambia's readiness to host the four-nation tournament this weekend, where the Copper Queens will begin their campaign against Kenya's.
Zambia, as you are aware, in July we have WAFCON. So this is part of the preparations for AFCON. The objective is to prepare the team for WAFCON. So we invited 4 teams. Initially we had the Football Association of Zambia had thought of playing Burkina Faso, but they pulled out after some time. Then we had to engage Lesotho. who came on board to make sure that we have all the 4 nations that have come. Lesotho and Kenya have arrived. They are all in Lola. Zimbabwe arriving this afternoon. So that will complete the whole 4 nations that will be playing. And this starts on Saturday at 12:30. Then the second game will be pushed to 15:30 as guided by the referees department to allow teams prepare for warm-ups and the other things. So we need that time, a 3-hour difference. So all is set. I think the national team coach Nola is with the team in camp also, training the team, preparing the team. All I can say is that we are set for Saturday and for the final on the 9th.
And that is the end of today's Daybreak News. Do sure to catch us at 12 for our midday news, as well as the grand news at 18:30 hours later this evening. For now, we take a short break. When we come back, we will be continuing with the Royal Breakfast Show. Stay tuned.
Salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come. Lift one hand and now lift the other hand, because our man of God in a surrendered position is more dangerous than an entire army.
The Lord of hosts is the one who is the King of glory. So when you're with the Lord of hosts, you can access the glory realm. He is the King of glory who rules over all creation.
It is your gift that will bring you before great men. Each of you have a gift. The Bible says Jesus took captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. All of you have a gift. Find it and use it to solve the problems of others. Therein lies your wealth.
Whenever we are increasing, we become a threat to the children of darkness. Even Jesus saw them in his time and he identified them. He said, "You children of serpents."
On a busy day in Lusaka, right in the middle of a vlogging, Mr. Simon Mwela's phone battery died. Well, he knew what to do next. He called Zambia's top cell phone and accessories dealer. In a flash, problem solved. Across town, Dr. Twambo was getting ready for a presentation when he realized that his PA forgot something. A quick call to Mobile City and his projector screen was delivered in no time. Meanwhile, Vana Fiasasa was about to leave for the village when she remembered she needed a phone upgrade. One call to Mobile City and a new phone arrived just in time. Vana Fiasasa snapping a selfie before hitting the road? But wait, I thought the other guys were in a hurry. For free, fast and reliable delivery, trust Mobile City. Beware of scammers. Mobile City Delivery. You order, we deliver.
The Zambia Travel Expo ZATEX is back. Stronger, more connected, more impactful. Welcome to ZATEX 2026 from June 4th to the 6th, where opportunity meets authenticity. Driven by the spirit of Zambia moves you. This premier event once again brings together global tourism buyers, investors, and tourism leaders to one of Africa's most compelling destinations. On June 4th, make meaningful interactions with tourism buyers at the Buyers Day, curated business-to-business engagements. On June 5th, join us at the ZATEX official opening to be officiated by President Hakainde Hichilema. On June 6th, Consumer Day, a vibrant show showcase of culture, travel experiences, and live entertainment. ZATEX 2026 is back, showcasing the very best of Zambia. Register at www.zatex.org. ZATEX 2026, building authentic and sustainable tourism through partnerships.
Are you passionate about making a positive impact on communities? Do you dream of a career that combines psychology, social justice, and community empowerment?
Enroll in our June 2026 intake for the Diploma in Child and Adolescent Mental Health, community-based work with children and youth.
Dive into a transformative journey of learning and advocacy.
Immerse yourself in courses that explore human development, social policy, and diverse perspectives. Gain hands-on experience through community projects and internships.
REPSI is a TVETA-accredited institution and offers all programs through online situated distance learning. You'll be empowered with the skills to create real lasting impact in communities.
Join us in shaping a brighter, more inclusive future for children and young people. Enroll with us for a program that equips you with the skills to create real, lasting impact.
To start your application, email us admissions.zambia@repsi.org or www.repsi.org or our Facebook page @RepsiZambia or call 0770-707-924. Together, let's make a difference through love, care, and protection for children.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Royal Breakfast Show. Lo and behold, it is the 5th of June 2026 and it is a Friday. We are almost done and dusted with the first week of June, and my oh my, there has been so much that has been happening already in 1 week, but what more in 1 year with regards to the ECL family as well as the government. A back and forth that has seemed to not have stopped. But we are here today and we are talking about it. It should have been the fact that we're looking at it as a memorial, but we're looking at it as a moral standpoint. However, we did say that you can get in touch with us by dialing 0966 0979 958 392. Always want to give you my number, but that will never happen. Mike, Mainza, lovely to see you guys this morning. I'd like to find out what is on your mind today. Mike, I know you're scared, you know, when we're going to be done with the show, because they might find you again.
What do you mean I'm scared? Scared of what? At this particular point, there's nothing that I'm scared of. Whatever I see.
Because today you're not Sakala.
Listen.
Yeah, like for real. The president said you can change the nameplate, but it doesn't change who you really are. Now I've actually accepted the fact that, yeah, I am Mike Sakala.
No, since he's Mike Sakala today,
yeah.
My name is, he's been Mike Sakala, right? So my name is Mainza Simaliki Chishimba.
Yeah.
Chishimba. Because Chichimbwe chala tuadidila. By location, by affiliation, let me tell you, Easterners will not survive. You will not survive in my hands. You know, Mike came to me yesterday, and he really tried his level best to flee from me.
Yeah.
And I want to make this very clear, because on social media, Paul, like, why did we splash turmeric? We did not splash turmeric on him. That was high-end powder and mayo. Don't try the baby powder.
You know, I said the body at powder to banana flavor.
Banana flavor powder.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
I'm so jolly happy to be here.
Yeah.
It is a Friday. A very heavy Friday,
Exactly.
in the sense that there's two things that we are highlighting, looking at the season that we're in. Yes, it does mark exactly a year since the passing of our Republican president and our 60th Republican president. And it's very unfortunate that as it stands, being the 5th of June 2026, he still remains in a morgue. And this is regarding a lot of unsettled issues or issues that are still in court. And for the Zambians, as we have been echoing for the past year, it leaves us in a state of uncertainty. It leaves us in a state of and rest, and that's on my mind. But also looking at the Ngoni speaking people, our Eastern brothers and sisters. This is a very difficult time. The paramount chief, Mpezeni, has been paramount chief for 44 years. 44 years is a very long time. Each and every one of us on this panel was not even alive when he was, you know, when he came into power, when he took over after his father. So it is a very heavy time. I understand we are highlighting Ichimbuya in this season.
Exactly.
But let us also move with sensitivity. I know it's meant to bring a light moment, but I think it actually isn't. And let's realize that the Ngoni speaking people really, really, really celebrate their time, the Nchwala. It's a very big deal. And you get to realize that if it's a big deal at that, what more now? What more now? People's hearts are broken. We see people travel from different parts of the world to come and attend the Nchwala. So you can only imagine how heavy this time is as we move with, let's move with caution and extend grace, because our brothers and sisters are in pain. And away from just the Ngoni speaking people, the Easterners, this extends to every other Zambian. We are mourning, and it's a very unfortunate time, and we celebrate the president for highlighting that the 9th is going to be a day of national mourning.
Well, Njengembazo David Jere was not just known as a king or a leader traditionally, but also some of the things that he was known for was him getting to, you know, speak for unity in the country, as well as getting to be an advocate for a lot of other sectors. For example, people from Eastern Province will tell you that he did a tremendous work in the agricultural sector by getting to, you know, get to lobby for agricultural inputs for the farmers, and it was very vocal on national matters, especially those that sought to unite people regardless of their different ethnicities. He wasn't an active politician, but definitely every time that he got a chance to, he spoke about the need for politicians, you know, to just respect the fact that we should exist as one Zambia, one nation. And also he gets to be one of those particular traditional leaders who has seen the reign of each and every government since Zambia got independence. At his coronation, President was the first Republican president of Zambia. In the late Dr. David Kenneth Kaunda, he witnessed his coronation. So he was actually president, or rather leader of the Ngonis in that particular tenure of the UNIP era. The MMD came, he was still a leader of the Ngonis. The Patriotic Front came, he was still leader of the Ngonis. Now the UPND, he has seen all the governments in Zambia. And it's quite ironic that we're getting into another election in a few days. Today is 69 days actually before we get to the 13th of August. And he's not amongst us. But what a legacy that he leaves behind. A legacy that will be lived to be remembered forever. And that was just, you know, his body touching base in Chipata, at Chipata International Airport yesterday. And it's really a very big blow, especially amongst the people of, you know, Eastern Province, but collectively as a country together as well. It is such a moment that we sit down and reflect and just get to celebrate what a great leader he was, really.
Exactly. And, you know, I like the fact that both of you talk about the fact that he was a unifier. He wasn't actively involved in politics, but he did try and bridge the gap and to say that, you know, despite everything that is happening in this period, there should be some sort of calm and we should refrain from getting into violent activities. And it's the fact that he would always make sure for the past 44 years, ever since he did ascend to the throne from 1982 on the 17th of June, he managed to preserve the culture, the Ngoni culture, which is not easy, especially with the fact that we're in the 21st century, there's technology, there's so many influences, and the fact that we've been also talking about how in this modern day and age, we sort of a little bit, we're moving away from our cultures and our values, but he managed to preserve the Ngoni culture. So I'm just hoping that whoever takes on the throne next actually manages to do the same. Otherwise, it's going to prove very, very pivotal in this moment. And it's not going to be good in the sense that the coming generations are going to be wondering what sort of identity that they actually hold.
Exactly.
But those are just some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. Other than that, we do want to make sure that you are kept abreast when it comes to the money markets and the exchange rates. The dollar has hit 17 kwacha as of this week. That is what was projected in March. However, these rates are indicative and they do vary from bank to bank. And the ones that we are going to be sharing with you in just a minute are as of 6 o'clock. So in case you do go to your nearest bureau and you're wondering what sort of, deals you can actually get, because we do understand that people like Mainza do have dollar accounts, so they don't need to worry about the kwacha anymore. So the Great British Pound is buying at 23 kwacha 39 ngwe, and it's selling at 23 kwacha 79 ngwe. If you have some rands in your pocket, you are going to be buying them at 1 kwacha 7 ngwe and selling them at 1 kwacha 9 ngwe. And then the United States dollar, as you can see, is buying at 17 kwacha 39 ngwe and then selling at 17 kwacha 69 ngwe. And then the euro is buying at 20 kwacha 24 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 58 ngwe.
I remember when I was in high school, so they told us that every time you get to see a 69, 17.69, you do a round off. So it's pretty much 17.17 way.
But Chavako is in a vote. Chavako is in a problem. Love to see this.
Yeah.
Love to see this. The Zambian kwacha is appreciating significantly, I think. In as much as it always seems like it's a very small amount, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
17.39 buying and selling for 17.69, I think is fairly good. Really, really good, especially for people that are constantly trading. This is really good. And there's so many factors that have affected this. So, yes, it's come 2 months late. 3 months? 3 months. 3 months late.
April, May. Yeah, 2 months plus.
Yeah. But what a beautiful way to start the month of June. So for anybody else that is trading, what a good time to be alive. We hope to get to a place. I know these are the projections that were made that we will get to about 17 kwacha. But for everybody else, we want to get back to a time when a dollar was equal to 10 kwacha. And there's so many factors that affect that. Might seemingly look unrealistic to achieve. But I think this is something. This is really something, and it does go to show that the Zambian kwacha is appreciating. We are hearing that the Zambian, we've been told, we've seen through research, the Zambian kwacha is one of the best performing currencies, and some of these indicators are evidence to that statement.
Exactly. We were getting to discuss the, Minister of Finance got awarded, continentally. So obviously what we're getting to discuss today with a certain colleague that I just met was how we just need to appreciate the strides that government has been making, especially in the area of, economics. For the Minister of Finance to obviously get that particular recognition, this all comes with the efforts that they've been putting in place to ensure that our currency also just gains its spot or place in these particular money market exchange rates, being regarded as one of the best performing currencies, a president being regarded as one of the best leaders, and the Minister of Finance being awarded as the best. I mean, it shows you that there's something that is being done. But obviously, amidst all of these kind of conversations, there's what is on the back of the minds of a lot of Zambians who, getting to see these numbers from Mtendere, for instance, from, Kalingalinga, for instance, from Mandevu and all these other places. And their cry pretty much is, how are we going to be seeing these figures get to project into the daily livelihoods of people, especially with them accessing the daily commodities that are very essential in terms of milling meal, cooking oil. So those kind of issues are what they want to get to appreciate this particular appreciation of the kwacha for, if it translates into a lower price in the way that they can be accessing these particular goods and services.
I mean, our exports have been doing quite well when it comes to the maize as well as our mining sector. It has significantly improved our dollar, and that is why we can actually see that it's dropped to 17 kwacha, which is quite significant. But people feel like this indication doesn't really have a bearing on them. But if you are somebody who's trading, or perhaps you move in from country to country, then this is definitely something that will be of great use to you. you. Otherwise, moving on to what is making the front pages of the various newspapers so that you are kept abreast with what is happening in and around your area. Remember, some of these headlines might stand out to you, so you can always come through on 0979-958-392. So getting us started is the News Diggers this morning, and these are some of the headlines that are making the front page of this newspaper. And it leads with HH toasts to free education law, mocks opposition. And then in green, in that green box, it says High Court grants Xavier Chungu 50,000 kwacha bail. So you can actually find more of that story on page 11 of the News Diggers. And then in pink, there's another headline which says allow ECL to be buried. Luvinda appeals to Lungu family. Quite interestingly. And you can find more of that story on page 2. And then government releases additional 500 million kwacha for CDF. So you can find more of that story on page 7 of the News Diggers this morning. Otherwise, those are the headlines making the front page of this newspaper this morning. Remember, 0979-958-392. Or alternatively, you can also go to our Facebook page where you can also leave a contribution there.
Yes, that's what you can do. Go there and leave us a comment. We'll be more than glad to find out what your thoughts are. The Daily Revelation newspaper this morning comes through with the leading story. It says, saying, Miles, myself, likely to endorse HH. That's according to Charity. Now the story reads, Miles Sampa's PF faction acting national chairperson Charity Banda says she is waking with her leader Sampa and likely to endorse President Hakainde Hichilema and the ruling UPND in the 2026 general elections is a story that you can find in that particular one. Pretty much that just being the only story in the Daily Revelation.
Moving on to other newspapers this morning, we are looking at our front page headlines right now, and we want you to be a part of the conversation this morning on 0979-95-8392. The Mass newspaper has a leading headline that reads, Lungu burial delay a shame. It's a national scandal, says Changala. Still in the Mass newspaper, UNIP reports Zambia to UN and SADC. Sluggish dual carriageway works stall carway business. And lastly, in the Mass newspaper, we have a headline that reads, Court fines Kambwili 25,000 for skipping immigration controls. That is what the Mass newspaper looks like this morning.
Very interesting headline so far, but if you have seen one that is looking pretty interesting to you, you can always dial the number. In the Daily Nation newspaper, it's leading with the main headline, which says, you want to come back for what? This is according to the president. To occasion more damage, says Zambians' last 10 years under the Patriotic Front, as he observes that changing nameplate does not mean one has become a different person. And that is what I think Mike was alluding to. Explains that his heart bleeds when those who damage the country want to come back. So you can find more of that story on page 3. And then in yellow, with the yellow headline, there's another headline which reads, Church bans ECL memorial as Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia orders its churches across the country not to participate in the nationwide memorial service of late former President Lungu, who has remained unburied 1 year today after his death on June 5th, 2025. And then in blue underneath that, it says, bondholders force Zambia into talks after the Zambian government launched a tender offer last week as part of efforts to reduce future debt servicing costs and strengthen debt sustainability following the country's debt restructuring program. So you can actually find more of that story on page 3. And then High Court bail saves Xavier from continued police detention. So you can find more of that story on page 3. Otherwise, those are the headlines making the front page of the Daily Nation newspaper this morning.
Yes, indeed. That's how it looks like in the Daily Nation. Leave us a comment on our Facebook page. It is CrownTVZambia, or simply go to, you can actually write to our number that is on your screen, 0979 958392. The Times of Zambia says it's now law. HH signs free education policy into law is the lead story there. It continues to read a little bit further. It says free education becoming law is a culmination of a long-term United Party for National Development UPND government's vision to create a meaningful Zambia for both present and future generations, President Hakainde Hichilema has said. As stakeholders hail the president is also a lead story there beneath the very, very story that is up as the main story. Mpezeni accorded official funeral is another headline that you get to find, as President Hichilema has declared Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 as a day of national mourning in honor of the late Paramount Chief Mpezeni of the Ngoni people of Eastern Province. Now Chief Mpezeni is scheduled to be put to rest on the same day, which is going to be Tuesday. 16 billion kwacha released for public service delivery is another story that you find in the Times of Zambia. But right on top there it says that peaceful political campaigns cheer police, as the Zambia police has commended political parties taking part in this year's elections for maintaining peace and order from the time the campaigns were opened. This story continues on page 3, but right next to it, it says GDP grows by 330 billion kwacha, where Zambia's domestic product GDP estimates at constant 2010 prices has in the last 4 years grown by 329,871 million kwacha from 223 million kwacha in 2020 to a remarkable 662 and 94 million kwacha in 2024. And on the sports front, we've invested enough. Government says it has invested heavily in the preparations of the women's national team ahead of the Morocco 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, and expects the Copper Queens to deliver positive results. That story, you find it on the back page of page 16, which is the sports front, the Times of Zambia.
All right, moving on to other papers. This morning, you do know that the number is 0979958392. The Daily Mail newspaper started the leading headline that reads, Free Education Now Law. HH says signing 5 bills part of New Dawn resolve to have progressive reforms. President held for assenting 5 bills. All right, still in the Daily Mail, 2.2 billion 2026 CDF released so far. Bezeni gets official funeral and stage set for private sector day. And in case you're looking for some motivation this morning, don't worry about failure. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. 0979958392 is the number that you are reaching us on.
Remember, you can also leave us a text message, and of course you can go to our Facebook page because we are live as Crown TV Zambia, and you can also find us on our other platform, which of course is YouTube. Now, today being the 5th of June 2026, we do remember the fact that today is the day that our 6th Republican president did pass away. However, there are also other things that happened on this date. Before we get to the pertinent issue, let's just take you back in history as to what happened today on the 5th of June. So those are just some of the things that happened today in history on the 5th of June. However, fast forwarding or rewinding to last year on the 5th of June 2025, we did hear of the sad demise of our 6th Republican president in Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Today we remember the fact that he has not yet been buried. 2 open graves, 1 person in 1 mortuary, and that is not even in Zambia, it's in South Africa. So today we also remember that Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu was born on the 11th of November in 1956 and passed away today on the 5th of June 2025, and he was the 6th Republican president of Zambia, serving from 2015 all the way to 2021. He was born in Ndola on November 11th, 1956, and he rose from a modest background to build a career as a lawyer and a military officer before entering politics and also securing the presidency as a member of the Patriotic Front. Now, Mike, Mainza, all the headlines in the newspapers, they're pointing towards what happened last year on this day and how it's been a constant back and forth. We saw how Honorable Makebi Zulu had actually touched down in the country, coming in from the Court of Appeal that had happened last week. And as everyone has been sitting on the edge of the seat to say, when is this finally going to end? It's been a constant back and forth. It all started with a program change at the airports, how they didn't like the fact, the ECL family didn't like the fact that there was a few changes in what should have been a straightforward funeral, and also routes had been changed as to where the body was going to be taken. It should have been at Mulungushi, but they didn't want the president as well to preside over the body. And so there's just been a lot that has been happening ever since then, and also succession disputes in the same Patriotic Front. We've been seeing how a lot of factions have been opened, and it's just been a whole mess from last year on the 5th of June.
It is quite unfortunate, but obviously I'm getting to look at the days in my mind. What about now? Today is Friday, right? Last year, the 5th of June was on Thursday. So it's like Thursday yesterday, and then the following day, which is today, Friday, obviously. We did get to hear the news of the passing of the former 6th Republican president, from the daughter, who is Honorable Tasila Lungu once, as well as the family representative in Makebi Zulu. They broke this particular news that shocked the nation, and immediately after that we did get to see that President Hakainde Hichilema accorded a full state funeral for the late president. He declared a period of national mourning, which we observed in the country. Flags flew at half-mast. Plans were initially put in place for his body to lie in state at Mulungushi International Conference Center, and for burial obviously to take place at Embassy Park. But within days, the cracks in negotiations began, where the state and the family now began to go back and forth, citing what the wishes of the former president were. When I die, this is what's supposed to be done, and this is not supposed to be done. We do get to hear that his wishes were that the current president should not be anywhere near his body. The change of plans, there were some, renovations that were happening along Chifweba Road, the road that leads to the farm, and then all of those kind of issues. South Africa was ready. There was, the repatriation of the body was actually prepared, and there's even all of those kind of processions being put in place, but only to the surprise of thousands of Zambians and millions of Zambians to see that there was a cancellation in the program. And we find ourselves here now, where it's been back and forth between the government and the family. I'm very much interested in getting to find out more of the story that read in one of the newspapers, where Given Lubinda is saying, is rather urging the family of the late president to say, allow the body of ECL to be put to rest. And there's been questions to say, who is wrong in this particular regard? Is it the government? Is it the family? And coming from people that were so very much close to Lungu, that is in the Given Lubindas, getting now to tell the family that, can you kindly allow for the man to be put to rest? It's very interesting to me. And I'm looking forward to seeing, to read that. It's just like any other Zambian and many other Zambians, really. We want to see this issue buried by getting to see the burial of ECL.
We underestimate what a year is like.
Mhm.
And I've shared this with you guys.
It's been a year
on
already.
On a very light note, we really underestimate what can happen in a year.
Mm.
A year is a very long time. Okay, 12 months is a very long time. Top of mind when we're talking about it. Oh, it's just a year. Exactly this day, when we were receiving the news of ECL passing, I was exactly 6 days away from giving birth. Okay, I gave birth 6 days later to my second born daughter. And as I speak, she can mumble words, she can walk, she can fake, try to communicate. So much development has happened from a small human being who wasn't even born when this was happening to Zambia. What breaks my heart about this moment or this period is we keep forgetting one thing, is that Zambians have been left in a state of mourning of some sort. Yes, we've had different stakeholders, different viewers come forward, call us and say, Tuanaka, we are tired with this issue. But at the core of your being as a Zambian, regardless of your political affiliation, this was your 60th Republican president. You understand? And he did serve Zambians from 2015 all the way to 2021. So, in as much as we may try to put this issue aside and let things flow, to some degree, Zambians are still mourning. To some degree, Zambians still carry a certain level of lack of closure because our 16th Republican president remains not buried. And what does this entail? What does this mean? So much attention has gone to the death and burial of ECL. We forget to talk about his legacy. We forget to talk about his impact. We forget to talk about the very fact that he had a very warm smile that stood out. All right? And we forget to talk about the great moments. And I think what often happens at a memorial or a year after somebody has passed is there is a smile. None of us here forget that. If we're being very honest, in as much as we are in a campaign period, there's so much that is happening in the political space. Let us not forget the man. Let us not forget the man behind the desk.
Let us not forget a dada.
Exactly. There's a
Like he was
moment where he says
affectionately
Adada.
known as a dada.
There's
You get
so
it,
many
right?
things that we affiliated this powerful man to. So I think today, in as much as Zambians are still hurting, Zambians are still in pain, Zambians still don't have closure, I think I would like to say, as a Zambian myself, as somebody who was served by this man, I think today is a good opportunity for us to highlight some of the good things we remember him by.
The church not to cut you short.
A good
Please,
opportunity
go ahead.
for different people to still remember him despite him not being buried.
Exactly.
And I think, yes, so many stakeholders have spoken on this issue. It's gotten a lot of attention. There's a lot of communication that's happened. South Africa is talking about actually their whole
world,
is
BBC.
talking about this in the sense that Zambia has not yet buried its 60th Republican president. We have two open graves, as you earlier highlighted, one in South Africa, one here in Zambia. And traditionally, that does entail different things. But let us remember this man. Let us remember the fact that where's our dad? You understand? Let us remember the fact that there's so many warm moments. There's so many. I remember one thing that comes to mind for me the most is there's a video that was trending sometime in 2018-19, if I'm not mistaken, where our Republican president was, I think it was at a gala, right? And he was just vibing to some music, some level of warmth. And that energy comes to light because this has become so much of news and just one blunt statement that we need to bury our president, and we're not taking the power of that. We're not refuting the fact that we're in mourning as a nation. We're not removing that fact, but the reality is, let us not forget how powerful this man was and who he represented despite our current political affiliation.
Well, the church, according to the other newspaper that we got to see and read, has banned the ECL memorial. It has actually banned its members from getting to commemorate today as a memorial for ECL. I don't know the reasons why, but I'm thinking to myself, really, is it really fair that we do understand that these things have been going on? All of us might, we are tired. Yes, the truth is that we are tired of holding on to one particular matter. We wish for our president to be buried. But is it fair enough to just even allow people to say, don't even commemorate this particular day? I don't know that is the reason why, but I'm just thinking, what could the reason be otherwise, where the church goes on to say, you don't take part? Maybe if they came up and explained the position and as to why they're getting to encourage people to do that. But really, of all the things that we can actually get to look at, let's just appreciate the fact that he carried us through those particular terms that he did since the time that we gave him the chance to lead this particular nation. He did where he could, and they failed where they failed. And that is why every time and again, we always get to mention the fact that we, the electorates, we, the Zambians, are the bigger bosses. Because if you're not getting to work according to expectations, why keep you? Then we decided to, oust them out of power. And now we give the mandate to the current government. But we can't overlook the fact that there are some positives as well that they did get to score during their tenure. And for the sake of that, let us remember and just get to, think through and celebrate his life today as he clocks 1 year in the mortuary.
So basically, the whole debacle has been whether or not the current president can preside over the body. And I like the fact that you're talking about how we overlook the good parts of our late former president, the good things that he did. It's been marred by politics and, back and forth between political parties as well as the government to say, who's going to take the reins, who's going to take the body, where is it going to be buried. And it's quite unfortunate because today we're supposed to be remembering him in the full spectre, but we can't because the body has not been laid to rest yet. And unfortunately, especially for his family, they still are mourning the death of him because they still haven't laid him to rest. The body is still out there. But again, under Zambian law, with regards to the benefits of the Former President's Act, former presidents are entitled to a lifetime tax pension equivalent to 80% of the incumbent president's salary. They also receive an executive furnished residence, diplomatic passports. But the main thing that we have been looking at for the past year or so, unfortunately, is the fact that medical insurance for the president and their spouse, as well as the state-assisted funeral expenses. That clause has always been the debate because the family has had a huge impact and also a huge input as to how this ought to actually happen. And because of the fact that he had actually returned to politics, that's what kind of sort of made it a little bit more complicated. But at the same time, because the president also, they had a little bit of a history with the late former president. And so this is almost like his way of saying, let's bury the hatchets and let's move on from what happened in the past. But unfortunately, we find ourselves still talking about the same instance or the same issue a year later. And what's also quite interesting is because the fact is that they did mention that we can actually drag this on until after the elections. And unfortunately, that's where it's headed. But because the Attorney General had actually taken it to court, that's why it's now taken a little bit of a dramatic turn. But we do hoping that eventually we do move on from this. So it's quite unfortunate that we're looking at it from both ways as opposed to looking at it from one side, and that is the goodness of him. But now we have to look at it from the political aspect as well because there was that tussling that has been going on for the past year.
But regardless of that, one thing that we can't move away from is there'll always be more than one political party. Always be more than one political party. From the time Zambia got its independence, more than one political party. So this does set the precedence over how Zambians can mourn across political lines, right? And should really political affiliation determine certain things? We understand this is a bigger conversation. This is a longer conversation. But it's your 60th Republican president. This is just not another political leader. 60th Republican president. your children, your great-grandchildren, your great-grandchildren's great-grandchildren are going to learn about this man. You understand? This is Zambian history. Regardless of how we can package it and look at it as today and try to just make it seem one way when there's so much more. Yes, with everything happening in the back, not taking power away from what is going on, still your 60th Republican president, all right? There's going to be other Republican presidents in Zambia. And how we mourn as Zambians, how we handle this issue as Zambians across political lines, it will set the precedence for what our future looks like. So on a day like today, let us reflect on the power and greatness of this man. But we do know that our viewers have had something to say in regards to some of the things we're talking about this morning. In case some of the news stories stood out for you, or our front page headlines, or just the fact that today marks exactly a year since the passing of our Republican president, we want to see what you are sending us via text message.
On the same number, which is 0979-958-392. We also understand that you have been going to our Facebook page and leaving us a couple of contributions there. It's always nice to know where you are tuning in from, just in case we bump into you in your area and, you know, we're like, oh, okay, you actually watch Crown TV. Then it would be nice to know that you are giving us your location. Who knows, maybe you'll find me on the Copper Belt tomorrow in Ndola, to be exact. But let's just get to find out how our inbox has been looking. We have been receiving quite a number of messages. Good morning, Makwai Matakala and Nduna Mudenda Sakala. Can there be a memorial service before unveiling of the tombstone? What about unveiling a tombstone before the burial or cremation? Or burying or cremation without first seeing the corpse of ashes? But where are the results of the inquest and the forensic investigations into the poisoning allegations by Nakachinda and Dr. Canisius Banda? Kim Waswabi Luli Silulo Maswabi of Mongu. Thank you so much, Silulo Maswabi, for texting us this morning. We always value your contribution.
Yes, indeed, we do. And this one says, good morning, panel. Mundubile versus Kalaba, HH, no size, from Dundumwezi. Thanks a lot. Is no size their name? Like no size from Dundumwezi.
Good morning, panelists. We now believe that people thought HH will never rule this country. Even when he was sworn into office, they thought he was not going to manage the country. Now they are wholly filled with shame, and this is what is making them look like disturbed beings. God has a way of doing things. HH is here clearing a huge drainage, which will make it very possible for his successors to close it up. Impossible, I beg your pardon, for his successors to close it up. Samuel in Lusaka, we appreciate your message this morning. 0979-958392.
Good morning, my people. The Education Act should have been first embedded in the Bill of Rights before being prescribed. Otherwise, Mundubile, Chungu and other enemies of progress will very easily repeal it in future. There's no name attached to this one, but we do value your contribution as well as your viewership.
Good morning, panel. Enjoying your program. Heartbroken because of the death of Kosi. Wishing you a blessed and wonderful weekend. William Tonga from Jack in Lusaka. Thank you so much, Reverend William Tonga from Jack Compound there. We really appreciate your text message and have a blessed day as well.
Good morning, RBS. I'm very impressed by the flawless and efficiency of the Ngoni Royal Establishment. Since the demise of our Reverend Paramount Chief, no wonder our brothers from the East have successfully held the Ntrala ceremony year in, year out. What a disciplined tribe. I foresee a healthy succession to the throne. Waluwita 72 in Pemba.
0979-958-392. Send us a text message. Very soon we will be opening up the phone lines. It seems as though time is running very quickly. I don't know if it's a winter thing. But speaking of winter, make sure that you also visit Fashion World in case you are feeling a bit chilly. You can also wear what I'm wearing and much more. So let's move on to other messages this morning. This is just one of them that has come through. Good morning, Zambians. Free education as law means those parties that doubted it must not be allowed near State House because they may attempt to reverse it. Vote HH on 13 August for progress. War Nalishua Kwa Mkushi. You must say hi to my friend. Her name is Mofia. Apparently everyone in the town knows her.
Chimene Chamwaza Mwane, we wish nothing but peace to the Ngoni people during this difficult time following the passing of His Royal Highness Chief Mpezeni IV. May his soul rest in peace. I also urge our political leaders not to politicize this funeral. We are one people. No one chooses to be Ngoni, Lunda, Luvale, Bemba, or any other tribe. There is no reason for division and conflict amongst us. May the spirits of our ancestors continue to be with us, and especially with the Ngoni people in this moment of grief. Yami Pakochinye Mbale Mbawashkulu from Luangwa Feira and Mitete District. Tosakulira komwane ba Chinyemba. We really appreciate your writing to us this morning.
RBS team, good morning. Condolences to Mpezeni, Ngoni, and Zambia at large. A certain man died. When he died, all the males in his family stood up, declaring interest to inherit. The woman said, "How and why? Because my husband has died." "No way. It means you are responsible for the death of my husband." Similarly, the PF cadres have behaved in a similar manner in the political arena. Check the number of candidates wanting the presidency. Before I forget, Bali Wakuleka Fie. They want to come back and do what? When our economy is being fixed, no more chance. Crocodile is a crocodile. RK, thank you so much for writing to us.
Glad to know that RK is also tuned in this morning. Good morning, Crown TV. Wait, no. Good morning, Crown TV. Wo Sakala, wo Mainza, Iwo Ndashi. Watching you from Arkham Barracks. Mike, you made my day yesterday. Sivin Tumwandi. Looking good, my beautiful family. Bomukwai Inonge Lizzie Sililo Chinkumba. Have a blessed day. Yes, he thought that he could run away from it, but we'll show you the pictures later on.
These people are going to hell, the Bembas especially. How does ECL burial become a national scandal? Anyway, Bachangala enjoying freedom of opinion and expression. That's according to PD, who writes to us from Pemba. And I've always been wondering, could it be Patson Daka?
Yeah.
In PD?
I highly doubt.
Could never be.
But we do thank you for your contribution.
This one reads, "Good morning, Crown TV moderators. PF have nothing to talk about because of their hatred for HH. That's why they're seeing red and think it's black. What can they talk about? Free education? When they were born in 20th century. If anything, normal human beings will tell you that HH has tried to heal Zambia from the wounds inflicted on Zambians by PF. Bayunip nabo awamwand kuwaya waya fie. How many opposition parties have gone to UN? Mr. Matafuali from Kapirimposhi to Tottenham Kwai. Thank you for writing to us."
This one says, ECL, heartbreak, crying emoji. Today, 5th June 2026, marks exactly a year since you passed away, Mr. President. My heart breaks every day. No one ever expected you to part ways with us at that moment. But nevertheless, God that gives has the power to take away at any given point. Yes, you had your own faults in Bemba, we say.
Umuntu tapwiririka.
But good part is that no one can and will never act blind of things you did for this country. Yes, you changed the beauty of it, no doubt. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, you deserve a wonderful and respectful burial. I pray, and I pray we'll give you that soon.
Boss. This is MC from Kalumbila. And this is where now the ladies go like, "Aww, what a heartfelt message." All right, this one says, "Good morning, team. The most biggest problem in the burial of ECL, it's Ingwena team. Now they are changing colors." RKC in Sarinja.
Thank you so much, RKC. We appreciate you writing to us. 0979-958392. That's 0979-958392. Morning. Congratulations, Mr. President, for signing free education pension into law. Bali for me, Bali for you, and Bali for all. From Joe Kantanchi and Mufu Lera. Thank you so much for writing to us.
Good morning. I'm picking up the ECL story. When we can't put ECL body to rest, it's not the family or the government, but it is us, the Zambians, who have failed. This is Kabila all the way in Olympia in Lusaka. Glad to know that we are in the same area and that you have been watching us all this while.
Happy birthday, Mr. President, and bravo for assenting 5 bills that have now become law. More than 5 million votes awaits you on the 13th of August 2026 for continuity in shaping our beautiful Zambia into prosperous country. May God bless you and grant more years to your life. Good morning, Crown TV. You are my darling of the TV station. Uncle GB from Kasinengwa. Thank you so much. Uncle
Wait,
GB.
who's the darling?
We are.
Oh, we. No, every time I see darling, I associate it with Mainza. Because when she puts on red lipstick, then the viewers go crazy.
0979958392. Morning Crown. I'm happy about free education. I hope it will be up to you. University level, because it will be up to university level. Because if it's only grade 12, expect only grade 12 in Comboni, but Comboni I'm assuming, because college and universities are expensive. 1 year in mortuary. Mike, mwana wa munzani. Wamunzani, sure.
That was supposed to be Mwana wa Munzano, sure.
Mwana wa Munzano, sure. Chris in Livingston, thank you so much, Chris, for writing to us. 0979958392. We are opening the phone lines for you to be able to reach us.
This one says, it is a matter of common sense. How do you hold a memorial service for an unburied body? This is a senior citizen. You know, it's quite interesting how Chris from Livingston only texts us. Do you know this is the first time he's texting this week? Only because Mike is here?
Yeah.
No, he texted on the other day. I remember.
Because you were there.
Yeah, you just missed it. But
loyalty.
Good, yeah. I mean, good morning, Crown TV and our fellow Zambians. Are the Lungu family Christians? Vatidi. HH forgave ECL for the inhuman treatment he endured under ECL. Why can't the Lungos do likewise? Nangulu Pato. It is sad. Mona Lishua Kwamukushi. Thank you so much, Mona Lishua. We really appreciate your writing to us this morning on the number 0979958392.
Morning team, how do you anniversary without burial? Is that normal? To make things worse for body we have never seen. What proof do we have that he died? Those with such information can go ahead. Evans in Lusaka. Evans, thank you so much for taking time to write to Crown TV Zambia. 0979958392.
You can also go to our Facebook page where you can also leave us a contribution over there. In just a bit, we will open up the phone lines. Time is running so fast. And you can also just go there, as well as our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, where you can catch up on all the other shows.
Dashing and the crew, morning. Teoba Sampachimbuya Fuire Intangalala and Bachanda. Top purpose today. He is with the president in discipline in front of cameras, according to Chris again from Livingston. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate your writing to us.
A double text from Chris. Very interesting stuff.
Now, this particular time, he is rather calling you Ndashi.
I mean, what can I say?
That's the greatest.
Good morning. It has been discovered that Chabinga and Mao Sampa were secretly working together as traitors of PF, playing monkey tricks, destabilizing the PF. And now that Mao Sampa is about to endorse HH, we come to conclude beyond reasonable doubt that these were working together as traitors of PF. Seems of Nseluka. Seems we appreciate you writing to us on 0979958392.
You can also go to our Facebook page where you can also leave us a contribution over there.
The trio, the questioning by the president to the opposition on why they should come back and what is it they would want to offer that they failed for 10 years from 2011 to 2021 makes a good reading for the country and the citizenry. Sontepo Awomba, the UPND, has done what it can do within the 5 years they have been in power. That is free education, for instance, in essence, free education, debt restructuring, meal allowances, and many other. Hence, for them to be given another mandate from Dr. Ngoma, aka the ear to the ground and the publicity and information general of the Raw Breakfast Show, all the way from Kawe. Thank you so much.
Dr. Ngoma.
Doctor.
The ear to the ground.
Yeah.
We need more divisions, though. However, we have opened up the phone lines. You can officially call us on the number which is on your screen in case you cannot hear from wherever you are in the house, or maybe you're just walking in the streets and you're watching us on our YouTube page. It is 0979-958-392. Our very first caller is Mr. Bunonge. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. How was your morning?
I'm good with my Mainza there around.
Of course.
Mr. Unonge, how are you doing?
I'm very good, baby. How are you?
I am good. Please go ahead with your contribution this morning.
First of all, the question says they were there before. They made us to default. There was that discrimination on how they were distributing farming inputs. In one province, especially northern sector, they could give 9 bags per person. Yet others were being given 6. Now, if they want to come back, is it to reverse us to what they were doing to us, or what has really changed in them? Already they have been promised that if Mindu will won, he was going to rule just like President Lungu did. So what do we remember about President Lungu? Gassing, okay, state terrorism in other words, okay, tribalism, especially what he said in Livingston last time, that this Tonga, okay, referring to President Hakainde Hichilema, will never rule this country. Okay? Should we go again, come back to the same where people should be discriminated because of their ethnicity, their tribalism? The answer is no. The current generation said no to that in 2021. This was President H.H. won. Was voted for by all people, regardless of the tribe of the region, against the wishes of the government then.
Mr. Munonge, so you've got 10 seconds.
Okay. With regard to what he did yesterday, you remember our President promised that was going to raise a bar for anyone who would want to occupy the presidency. So what he did yesterday is one of them. PF failed to fund free education at the primary level. Are they going to manage now at grade 12, even up to 10?
Thank you so much. It's 0979-958-392. We have another caller. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Thank you so much. This is the voice of Mr. Shepard from Ndola.
All right, Mr. Shepard, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much. Yeah, on the issue of remembering ECL, first and foremost, it's quite sad to find that now, almost a year, we have not buried the former head of state. And the main reason why, to my own opinion and my own observation, it is because his death is inclined with politics. If we were to put the politics aside, we would have talking about this time, maybe the memorial and other things. Now, because the politics has come in, people politicize everything, we have failed to bury. But it's quite unfortunate. I'm just urging the politicians to change the mindset and think positively in everything they do. And on the issue of bringing back this, the previous government into action again, like what the previous caller just alluded to. You know, I would take over from Minepo. There were so many errors, especially in terms of discrimination. We were hate in one way or another. You know, you need to be sober-minded and be positive to every member of yours.
Thank you so much.
If they were giving fertilizer in somewhere, which is not good. Zambia is one. When you find that, all right,
thank you so much, sir. Your time is done. It is 0979-958-392. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to give us your contribution. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, this is Emmanuel Giota calling you from Livingston.
Hey.
Mr. Emmanuel, how are you doing?
Please go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yes.
How is Molite?
No, Molite is doing fine, not knowing you there.
We are good. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Give us your thoughts.
Yes, I think the main issue on the ECLO, I think the main reason because of the hate and politics which is being involved. I think can do better as the country and as the nation so that they remove politics. I think going forward, let's just pray for peace and harmony in our country as we bury our king, the chief of the Ngoni people.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maro. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Ali kimwauka.
Kauka Mike mwauka.
Tauka bwino ka kuchipata.
Chipata kauka bwino. Malira meti nayo chabe haya.
Maliro ya tigwera tonse. Mwamsanga tiranipo ninde manga.
Nde manga Mike. Ine ni mafuno kutamba. Are you sure that Edgar Lungu anafa? Nalomba tikalungu kamba Edgar Lungu sure. Huh? Please pamakola hapa sitose tikondwera kukamba nkani ya Edgar Lungu kamba mawo ipa. Edgar Lungu anafa tendi zisa malira mawu. That's why yavuta maliro hata ina mlandu kwa language ya mene haya. Edgar Lungu anachita vintu vikulu maningi muno Mzambia. Ichi province Edgar Lungu anagwirako. So tendi samalire mawu lero vambiri tibeko kamba ise tina maliro Mike ziko mkwambi.
Tamikira Mr. Alik, thank you so much for calling us. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Amwashubuke ni mkwai.
Mkwai, nwana nani waletu mina kwisa?
Ndetu mina kumwense.
Kumwense, nwana?
Voice of Mwense, Mlenga.
Ba Mlenga na mkata 1 minute na ama seconds ali 30. Konkanye nipo.
Na totala mkwai. Chantanshi. Ndefo kulanda ngeshafa mkulanda ba previous caller. They came to play mchinji kuri bakateka abatekere ba ICO na nkwali cyari stike FV. Tufile to apero mchinji. Kaipa mkumo wine ichirengere fyonse fyukana chika wangu chitumbichi number 1 arando kutira kuba nensu okurusa ama elections bigizana ero barusa ama elections chali bakalipa so nomba kufa kuti basendero chitumbichi aba Edgar Lungu babifye bakateka balipo ba current ngaba HH kwe bati eba benga fyonse but muchine chinga twalisango kutira ifo nga beka shiba Mzambia abarenga fyonse fi inangu icharenga fyonse politics badi ngisha mwa politics sana so please tend tufuje pa politics tetu kale mu mochari uwatekere Zambia for 7 years okuya msunga mochari 1 year umuntu abafe mu mochari shuwa muchishwa musango cyane tend tupere muchishwa abantu abafwa eka ite tupere kateko wa rutekere even tupere bakateka bonsa bamweyo nina tumupere muchishi tushike bwangu ero kayichimbe bushe kuri bana barungu takwa bapo family yabo bana rume ba chani pandi patu mona fe bani bakashi na bana na bala ba sister babo bushe takwa bambe family ingesa ibo kutira hawo bana tushike tuchitefya yabenga tungurule fintu na totera mkwai.
Mkwai, that's Mr. Mlenga from Wednesday there. We do have Mr. Kebi calling us from Mchinga. Good morning.
Mchinga is fine. Now is Lusaka.
Lusaka is all well. Go ahead and give us your thoughts in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
A year later, ECO remains unvalid. I'll concur with what the EFZ have taken, the stance they have taken. It's inhuman, it's un-Zambian for us to even be celebrating the memorial service. We only celebrate the memorial service after the person has been buried. So, today it's very sad that it's a year of which people are even calling for the memorial service. Which memorial service when you've not buried someone? Then coming to what the president assented yesterday, that was fabulous. And I hope who have these now opposition presidential hopes to think through if at all they will stand that challenge. Otherwise, it's a welcome move with those assentments. And I'm urging all the fellow Zambians to think through and see how this visionary leader is. Otherwise, I also ask a question to say, what will they bring that they failed to bring in 10 years?
Thank you so much.
Mike, Ndashi, and Mainza, work well. We are still celebrating the birthday for our 7th president. I also saw you wishing birthday to your brother. Pass my belated birthday to him as well. Thank you very much. We are following the program as well.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Kebi, all the way from Chinga, sending a belated birthday wishes to Warren Sakala and Livingston. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Looking good, people.
Thank you so much, Muntu. How are you?
Yeah, we are okay. And this is calling you from Dola.
Collins konkanye nipo namkata 1 minute na seconds ali 30.
Bakanamba ili ashiri amariro. You know, I'm a politicians bare sabalaya. Okay, but each kala moto ningalanda chako but febe na Zambia ile kwa kwatu omutima owakuchita respect amaliro ekiriro kiriro nga kiri pamunove but nga kiri paliwe kulaba ffe tunfiika efo ningalandako so twileka amapolitics yafumyepo bwina muntu palifwe zo ten twikatane ten tutemwane politics ni politics fyetu ilabo kwe bati ba ECL bali bomba efyo babomba ate tukanasonta yo bali bomba tuleta shaba president echechi pali fyonse fyo balechita but muri fyonse ten tubike politics aside tushike ekitumbi ky'abafyashi balale ku kibote. Thank you so much.
0979-958392, that is the number. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Bukeni Pomkai.
Mkwai mwashibukeni.
Wawuka.
Niba Auntie Catherine yawa?
Mkwai ni Auntie Catherine.
How is Chipata overspeed? How tototera Mkwai?
Mkwai.
Konganya ni?
Mkwai. Umupashi wala ICL, bafuma president, ingatusha mchibote. Tuchiri tulelosha. Ngani nebo. Au manzi. Napande mfane fobale tumagambi. Au sure. Ukwisa kuba church lero bushu kuba kwibukisha umuyasho umuntu wabene ati nangu mfire mumpanga nangu mfire pamenshi ifupa lyandi muchine likaba nomweyo na family kala ibukisha kwe bachi umwana wenso afwirire pamenshi umubiri tawamuneka bati bakala chitako momreti ila day bachechi techibalando kwe bati yo bakana babande fati ba government no tukula kustamina mu chechi necho baletina n'abachishiba mwamuna bose twalishwe fyachitike pampo yabayisiyo nero batekere charo nero baluzira my election nevo bachitire hand over very peacefully kuli ba church nevo babasungire umunabo tabamuchindike batikene kubanga kateka tabampere office bayire mkuponya ama gate kula tulelolesha mchalo ndeya mkundapwa bakanya ayakuli ayafwa atiyo ndefu ankachitenani amaliro nenkabe kuntanji twalishwe na program ofo yapangire nofo bayona kishishwe na chifwe marodi nga bali panga nangu kwali bapo government minister nangu president nangu bana lumangu abayalosha not even one lero balililo kuba toka shiko mubi
mukulekeresha
employ postmortem yali chitika
thank you so much
bayaka kaulo mubili wa.
Thank you so much.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
We are very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Chiputa Kelvin calling from Kitwe, Luangwa.
Mr. Kelvin, go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Yes. Na ine ndeko contribute pali ine issue. I'm sure ilili ashifuti lyabuka lyalamba futi abantu twakulandalanda na kabiti. Ningu fa ba maya bafuma kwa bamfika mona shidia abantu bateninga pachironda. Ilili ashidia abayashiba Edgar Lungu. Yali shibiko kutira ma politics yaba mukulingana bala bakola bachi bapo kutira kulusa kwabo baneso baleteka kwandete chironde chikulusa ali chakulengo kwa chumba bala bonfya ne chitumbi kuti abafyashi ba Edgar Lungu kutira ndo bale kwatira kwa maka yakulandira yali shibiko afe buno bwino aba bantu yemukumona kwandi ichabapo fe batina milandu bamulando wakutiranga twatwala abafyashi ba Edgar Lungu kuzambia mukushika especially family yabalungu bakatwikata echo batina so bena bakwase nano yako batifuta twakaye kuzambia echo I hope bakwete yakumuna kutenga kwa bama election pa 13 August ndi bawe bale tontonkanya bo bale munate bakapita bimbere bakesa isana muzambia bakatana tikira ati awu mbato walashika ba Edgar Lungu no mutenderi mbinangu charo lero chikesa umfona bwino echo chaba apa bantu mumone nangu wa blame ba echechi baechechi ero baati bakateka bafo tinshwambiro kuchita babika po bushiku bwako ati twalabika ko 2 weeks yakulosha ilya bamba no kusetinga chirindi kulya ati twalashika kose kulya lero kwambiro kumfika mashu yako balasama wena nguchani yabo bena balelanda bana kulwa bachuma kwabo we muntu uni nawe ipeso kwati nalabombera pa kwa twafu anenge chiriro bamba kufutu kushobora ulindoshi yo wabesi kuna mtu watu waliro kuchite cha msanga.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Your time is up. Thanks so much for the calls and text messages that have been coming through. Remember, we always say that keep your comments cordial and also make sure that you stay within the threshold, which is, we've given you a little bit of a leeway by saying it is 1 minute and 45 seconds. So if you feel like you've been cut off, we did tell you at the beginning that is what you have to do. But it is election period after all. Have you been feeling the pressure? Have you been seeing any of the campaigns happening in and around you? Yesterday, we did get a few comments to say that there's a lot that is happening on the ground, and heading to the polls on the 13th of August 2026. Will we see a change happening? And also, we saw in one of the front page newspapers, one of the headlines was saying that it is going to be Brian Mundubile going against Hakainde Hichilema come the 13th of August. But joining us right now is Tryford Wukowa Jr., who's all the way in the Southern Province, just to give us a little bit of a feel as to what is transpiring in the Southern Province right about now. We would like to find out what is going on the ground and how the people feel going to the polls on August 13th, 2026. Tryford, good morning, and I'm sure you're looking dapper this morning.
Thank you so much, Dash. And I'm just happy that you didn't butcher my name, though.
I tried as much because I always listen to Mike. Mike is like, Dash, don't do it. Don't do it. Just say it properly. But Tryford, thank you so much for joining us. You've become a member of our squad. Yesterday we were actually talking about it, but we do value the fact that you're here. Now, get into it. Tryford, would like to find out what is the mood in the Southern Province right about now, and how are people... what is their mindset going into the August 2026 elections? Are there any visible campaigns that are happening? And what are people saying on the ground about the current 5 years or the past 5 years of the current administration?
Thank you so much, Dash. And good morning to Mainza and good morning to Mike. Otherwise, it's a great time to be alive. And getting to the campaigns and elections, I'll start from Mazabuka, where there's visibly a lot of activities in as far as this campaign period is concerned, as most of our viewers would be aware that the former Member of Parliament, Gary Nkombo, who's contesting as an independent candidate. Also on the other side, the United Party for National Development have their own candidate, who's Vincent Liranda, who is the former mayor of Mazabuka. So that particular seat is one of the seats that basically needs to be looked out for, because the activities on the ground are very massive. Campaigns have started. Both candidates are busy selling themselves. Campaigns have been launched in Mazabuka. So it is an interesting period, though it has been a lot of confusion, because this is the person that has been former MP and the other one has been like former mayor, and they've been working together. And the confusion is coming in the sense that also on the other side, the former member of parliament says no. This man was in charge of CDF. Most of the underdevelopment that you'd be complaining right now, he was in charge as a mayor. I was in parliament being a lawmaker. Those are some of the conversations that are going on. And also the falling off between the United Party for National Development and their former chairman for elections, who's Gary Nkombo. So it's interesting to look out for that particular seat, the Mazabuka one, because come 13th August, most of the people will keep their eyes on that particular seat, hoping, waiting to see who's going to take the day. So otherwise, it's an interesting seat. And getting to some districts like Mazabuka, like Monze rather, Choma, Kalomo, campaigns have been a little bit on a slower pace because, for Monze, I think it's because the United Party for National Development are seemingly feeling it's going to be an easy road for them, following how most of the independent candidates have already withdrawn from the race. So they haven't really seen the need to campaign as much. And I've seen some content creators on Facebook also saying, are we in a campaign period where we can't even see a chitenge or a t-shirt for campaigns? So that's how slow these campaigns have been, even in as far as Choma is concerned, where I'm based. The UPND is hoping to launch their campaigns today or Monday. They're having one big rally to mark the start of their campaigns. So hope after this we'll be able to see some activities. But as far as the independent candidate is concerned, who's been pushing grounds, and as far as Choma is concerned, Apostle Baka Chakwana, he's been on the ground, he's been campaigning, and also the approach that most of these candidates, especially councillors, mayoral candidates and everyone else, they are using a door-to-door approach of campaigns. They believe that most of the people right now are too occupied to go and attend a public gathering. So instead of the people following the politicians are trying by all means to make sure that they follow the people to their home state and be able to sell the message. And in as far as the ruling party is concerned, they are banking on the free education policy. They are banking on the peace, removal of political cadres from the markets, and also some of the road projects that are currently going on, the 1x3 classroom blocks, and the maternity annexes. What else are they banking on? They're banking on the fact that HH has also signed now into law the free educational policy. So now these are some of the messages that the UPND are currently selling to the members of the public, hoping it will be able to give them votes come 13th August. Well, on the other side, the opposition or the independent candidates, who we have here in Southern Province, most of them, their campaign is they work with Hakainde Hichilema as the president, and they'll be able to bring development that most of these former members of parliament have failed to bring. For example, Choma Central has had the same member of parliament for 15 years. So people are saying now, well, I'll be able to contest as a member of parliament because I feel this man has not brought the much needed development that the people will be able to feel. And this man is a good political leader for in as far as the UPND is concerned, but not a good leader for the people of Choma. Those are some of the arguments that the people are bringing on board. Also, the same case in Mazabuka, where Honorable Gary Kombo has been member of parliament for 15 years now. Also, those are some of the arguments. In Monze East, where we have Honorable Jack Mwimbu, that is going to be who's seemingly going unopposed and is going for his 30th year as a member of parliament for Monze. So there's a lot of conversations around these individuals that are standing in as members of parliament. Also on the other side, there was a seat that we could be looking at as one of the interesting seats that will be contested, but the independent candidate withdrew. I'm talking about the seat in Dundumwezi, where Honorable Edgar Singombe is currently member of parliament there, who also has been a member of parliament for 15 years also. So those are some of the interesting conversations that are going on as far as the campaign period. In as far as the pace of the campaigns, they've been a little bit slow. Kalomo launched their campaigns yesterday in Kalomo South, where the UPND won the seat already, as the candidate there, Edgar Sigajoma, went unopposed. So those are some of the interesting dynamics in as far as the campaigns are concerned, but it is an interesting period that is before us.
All right. So now, Twyford, it's good to have you. You mentioned of people being preoccupied and not necessarily getting to be seen moving around and just getting to follow these particular politicians, but rather the other way. You have had a chance to interact with quite a number of these particular people, politicians alike, and the electorates. Do you, or would you get to project that the silence that they exemplifying now might lead into the polling day being a very silent one as well, in terms of them getting to show willingness to take part in this year's electoral process?
People are anxious to vote. So one thing that is interesting about this period and how I've gotten to understand the people of Southern Province, there are people that are very that always want to take part in as far as the voting process is concerned. If they want change, they'll basically vote for the change. If they want to support someone, they basically vote to support someone. So I feel the turnout of the votes for voters rather on the 13th of August is going to be a good turnout. And if in as far as maybe a few would want to maybe shun away, but one thing is for sure, the turnout in as far as the voters will be good, because even if you look at the voter registration, there were a lot of queues at these voter registration centers, showing how anxious and how people are looking forward to the D-Day, which is the 13th of August. So I feel people will be able to show up on voting day and exercise a civic duty, which is choosing their leaders. So of course we can't run away from the fact that there are members of the community that don't believe in voting. We've got some who have their religious reasons why they don't vote, but otherwise, in as far as exercising the civic duties, people go all out and vote. And also, I'm extending the call to everyone that is watching me right now to encourage them to go and vote, because if there's any problem that you're seeing in your community, you have the right to complain, but you can only complain if you've taken part in the voting process. It is everyone's right, it is everyone's duty to choose a leader that will be able to rule Zambia. There's a lot of things that people should look out for. There's a 5 years ahead. So imagine the future that you want for your constituency, the future that you envision for your country. So the decision is made on the 13th of August. So how we make that particular decision will depend on how the future looks like for our different constituencies as well as the country. So to answer your question, Mike, the projection is very good, and I'm hoping things will remain as they are. People will be able to turn out and vote for the preferred candidates.
To get a little bit more insight on the fact that, yes, we are in a campaigning atmosphere almost everywhere, and just shedding some light on the campaigning atmosphere in Southern Province. We did see in Mazabuka, as you mentioned earlier, there was some level of tension. Is there something that's still existing now, considering that the campaign approach that most leaders or politicians are taking is a door-to-door approach? And also, what type of involvement are we seeing from the marginalized, the women, the persons with disability, the youth? Is there active participation? Also highlighting the fact that you talked about certain members of parliament that have been members of parliament for over 10, 15, and 30 years. Is the participation still there and even?
So the participation is there, and as far as your first quarter of the question, asking about how the situation is currently, is in Mazabuka, and as far as the tension that started during nomination period, the tension is still there, but there's a little bit of calmness that has been restored. As we've seen, the police have been actively on the ground in as far as controlling the situation. Yesterday, some political cadres were picked when they were trying to disrupt a gathering of political leaders that visited a funeral. So that goes to show how alert the police are in as far as the situation is concerned. And also in as far as the involvement of different groupings, women alike, and also people with disabilities. So everybody else is very active in as far as this particular process is concerned. And to answer your question, yesterday I had the privilege of interacting with one of the leaders for the Zambia Federation of the Blind, Lazarus Hagarebola, who's the vice president of this federation. He expressed excitement in as far as how this process is going, but also they're also taking caution in as far as their involvement in these campaigns are concerned, because they feel they are. If anything gets to happen, if the situation gets hostile, they might get affected in as far as the commotion. They might get caught up with the commotion, but they are actively getting participating, and also for the reason that you might be aware that the government, through the assentment of Bill 7 into law, which is now Act number 13 of 2025, it also allows for the differently able to be able to be appointed to Parliament, also to have their own voice be heard in as far as decision making is concerned. So this has also encouraged them to come out more and express themselves even more, because they're having this opportunity to be able to speak for themselves for the first time in as far as Zambian's history is concerned. So most of the people with different disabilities, women alike, we've seen them being more active. If you look at how the nomination period was concerned, the fighting in the primaries over the UPND and many other political parties, we saw women taking a step further and contesting for these particular seats. And we're just hoping that when the time for implementation is concerned, for the proportional representation, we'll actually have not just women, but we're going to have capable women being able to be appointed in these decision-making positions. We have different people with different disabilities being appointed, be given the opportunity, being also because they're able to deliver, because it is a different case if we're talking the issues of numbers, or we're talking about because this one is known by this one. It is going to affect the initial purpose of this particular initiative. So we need to implement these with caution and make sure that the grassroots will be able to feel the impact. I'll basically be biased on people with different disabilities. If we only have people that are politically famous who are going to be appointed, and as far as these particular positions are concerned, it defeats the purpose of benefiting the child that is in Shangombo, for example, that doesn't have a wheelchair. And there's free education now, but most of the government institutions have very few schools for people with different disabilities. In Southern Province, for example, we have like the whole province has like 2 schools providing these particular services. When we're talking about the free education policy that has been signed, those are some of the conversations that I feel if we're bringing the proportional representation, the free education, we've built a lot of schools, a lot of 1x3 classroom blocks. Is it the same case for special schools? So there should be that equal beneficial aspect in as far as the policies that are being implemented. And we're hoping that this is law now. So we're hoping the Ministry of Education will be able to extend a silver spoon to these particular different individuals. I know I've a little bit digressed from your initial question, but that's basically how I feel this whole process should be handled.
Now, Tryford, we do value your contribution and just giving us an update as to what is happening on the Southern Province, but we understand also how you have to balance your work life and your relaxation life. So before we let you go, tell us, what is for your Friday?
You know, what one interesting thing is I'm having exams on a Monday. So it's a crazy period. But otherwise, being a person that is unlike Mike, I'm as sober as a baby. So I always just have my fruticana and juice in the fridge.
Well, you actually completely go. Unlike me, how do you mean?
I know it's okay.
It's all right.
It's all right.
That's okay.
But it's been good. It's been good.
I only love energy drinks, so I mean, just to set the record straight.
Oh, thank you so much, Tryford. It's always a pleasure catching up with you, and of course, you're always welcome. You are the 4th member of the show.
I'm about to be in Lusaka this coming week, so you people should invite me. I'll be in Lusaka for the next 2 weeks for exams. So you just give me a call. Just give me a call on these days.
Mainza is anti-retro, so she'll wire something to you.
Definitely.
Yeah, and my,
All right.
Have a great weekend ahead.
That is Tryford Bukowa Jr., who is our reporter all the way in the Southern Province, just giving us an update as to what is happening on the ground down there with regards to the election build-up to the 13th of August 2026. We're going to take a quick break. When we do return, we do continue with the Royal Breakfast Show, so do not go anywhere.
Shortly after forming government in 2021, the United Party for National Development UPND administration introduced the free education policy in an effort to remove financial barriers that prevented many children from accessing education. Since its introduction in January 2022, the policy has seen more than 2.6 million learners return to school, with classrooms across the country recording increased enrollment as thousands of children were given a second chance to learn. To safeguard this achievement, President Hakainde Hichilema has signed into law the Education Amendment Bill of 2026, making free education a legal right and ensuring that future generations continue to benefit from the program. The President signed the bill alongside 4 pension reform laws during a ceremony held at State House in Osaka on Thursday afternoon. Speaking during the signing ceremony, President Hichilema warned that no future government should be allowed to reverse the gains made under the free education policy, describing education as the country's most important investment.
So free education was a policy of this party from opposition for 23 years, consistently. And when we had the opportunity to occupy public office, we said, this is it. Once we introduced it, we realized that someone may come after us and see things differently. So we said, let's embed it in the law so that every child of Zambia can have the opportunity we had, I had, she had, to go to school. That's the motivation. We build skills for the nation.
The President also revealed that government is working to expand access to higher education through the construction of public universities in southern, eastern, western, northwestern, Luapula and Mchinga provinces.
6 provinces of Zambia have no public universities. Northern, Luapula, Northwestern, Western, Eastern, Southern province. I have a message. Each of these provinces will have a public university.
This development has since been held by stakeholders in the education and labor sectors.
Today, Your Excellency marks a historical milestone in the development of this nation through your assent to the following bills: the Education Amendment Bill 2026, the Public Service Pensions Bill 2026, the Local Authorities Superannuation Fund Bill 2026, the Pension Scheme Regulation Amendment Bill 2026, and the National Pension Scheme Bill 2026.
Minimum pension will rise from 1,861 to 2,327. What a game changer. What a game changer.
Reporting for Crown TV News in Osaka, Chanda Mwango.
When people say no, they are coming back, I say, to do what? To occasion more damage, so we can spend 3 years working on the debt restructuring again? The little things we've done in these 4 years and 9 months, we spent 3 years on debt restructuring. Imagine if we came in after the balance sheet was cleaned up in 2011. Today, this country would have been in a totally different place. We lost 10 years after 2011. Totally lost it. And now the colleagues want to come back. To do what? You can change the nameplate that you are now a different creature. You are the same. You can change the name. You can change the t-shirt color. You are the same. This is not a joke. I'm serious. My heart bleeds. I hope your heart bleeds. It's scary.
ndalama?
Nilipe.
La sifiwe. Ati nikungene sana
Umulaini.
mkati humu.
Umulaini wapa uta.
Yes. Bwela nche. I'm sorry, banda.
Kalele wakumajaza.
Okay. Wonderful, fantastic. Sani sonse zizimirani. Zizimirani. Kuribe, wonderful, fantastic. Wonderful, glorious.
On the day.
Bazawasha kunyumba. Bazawasha. Pepe. Nenda nifipira mu video sinizira.
Yebo nzima tingaleko na mpamvu talira usiku wonse.
Wakope ukutana simu.
How's work going?
Today wakanzima talira
mani joko kanzima. Then put babwera futhi.
Una. Atira na
Koma abemba wanu muntu akamwalire. Akafe wanu abemba muntu. Look at me please. Look at me. Onani venonekera che. But sisi zanga nza black mushe. But onani vachita changisa zona.
Hospital. Iya mene mwanitira bemba. Zikomo kwambiri. Ine nikamvira tebati muwemba ali mu hospital. Niyamba kutira na ine. Izambo kupeza nkone maliro zambo kupeza nishinamba kudala kutira. Zikomo.
Plane carrying the body touched down at exactly 12:10 hours at Chipata Airport. Government officials formally handed over the body to the Ngoni Royal Establishment. Upon arrival in Chipata, the body was transported by road from Chipata Airport to a Penduken Palace at 13:30 hours, where it will lie instead until the day of burial. Business in the central business district came to a standstill as hundreds of Chipata residents and people from all walks of life lined the street to pay their last respect to a paramount who entertained and united them not only during the oral traditional ceremony but also at various other occasions.
All we are trying to do now is to preserve the peace that the country requires.
Government says it is pleased with the unity and oneness demonstrated by Ngoni chiefs during this period of mourning.
It's the leadership that you have shown when other people wanted to make nothing out of a sad development. We are so grateful for your decisive leadership. And I hope that we are learning that there is time for everything. There is time to mourn, there is time to rejoice, there is time to do politics. But when we have a bereavement like this one, it is time for us to unite together in unity and move as one family. So we are so grateful on behalf of government, Royal Highnesses, for the leadership that you have shown. And this is what is deserving for the chief that we are escorting.
Meanwhile, Chief Mazimawe has urged those participating in traditional cousinship, commonly known as Chimbuya, activities to conduct themselves respectively, saying the traditional mourning
Saizi yao ni mwenekazi wawe mbachitimkulu ndiye level senior chief nkula awere amtire pauda kapena osati pauda ndire unganemo osati mwana mtondo azatire neo unga vili malevo uyu wamwalira ni mbuya wake wachitimkulu ndiye zigao.
The Catholic Church also conducted a Thanksgiving Mass at the Penduken Palace in remembrance of Paramount Chief Mpezeni. The Paramount Chief Mpezeni died on 30th May 2026 at the University Teaching Hospital in Lusaka. The burial of Paramount Chief Mpezeni is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, 9th June 2026 at the Royal Resting Grounds in Feni Village of Chipata. Born David Jere, he was installed as Parliament Chief in Pezen in 1982 and served the people for more than 4 decades. For Crown TV News, Sambo David, Chipata, Eastern Province.
So that is what happened. Mike got guts. He thought by changing his name to Sakala, he might not actually get the powder and the lipstick, but that's him and Masi yesterday. And that was literally after the show. People were waiting. I think it was Mainza who actually got caught. That's Mr. Francis Salvador as well as Mr. Harry. Shame. The whole day, people just targeting them.
Look at them. The only reason why I even had to openly come out and just accept the fact that I'm from Eastern is because the kind of powder that I got yesterday was so very special. Thanks to you, Mainza.
What powder?
The powder that I got.
Oh, I also heard power.
Shatara monapo powder ya yellow life. I think that was my first
Turmeric.
time. People are calling it turmeric, but it's not actually.
Mike. That powder is premium powder. The premium powder, you date mafaka miyasma menso, put it your gorgeous.
Okay.
And that lipstick to die for. Top tier, top shelf.
Is it the one that you're wearing?
Yes.
And you should check out how my inbox on WhatsApp, because I had a chance to share this on my status. A lot of people are actually getting to make fun of me. And surprisingly enough, Isabella thinks that I was supposed to do me with ashes. Like, ash, right? Yeah, because this powder looks like it smells really good. So I was deserving of ashes and But yeah, it is what it is. The Chimbuya continues right there. But from that particular clip that we were actually getting to see, there's something that is, something important to take home with when Chief Mazimawe is getting to mention how the Chimbuya ship goes. It's not for Muntuli just because you identify as a Bemba, identify as a Mbuya. You get it, Ngoni or an Easterner. So there's ranks to these things. So there's an aspect of respect as well that has to be put into consideration. For example, an elderly person like Mr. Piri, for example, if I was a Bemba, I wouldn't qualify to, smear him in powder because it has to go with some certain urges. In this particular instance, the chief Nkosi Amankosi has died. The only person that is equivalent to the Chimbuya ship in that particular regard is the Chitimukulu of the Bemba speaking people. So Ekos Masingandwe cannot go and pour powder on Chief Mazimawe. You get it, right? It's against what tradition calls for in the aspect of respect. So it goes in ranks, really. It goes in rankings. So the chiefdom, the kingship, the Indunas as well. So Kulo Reshanasai is na age. That's why I don't shuffle it because obviously Madam Mainza is older than me. But I was only angry at the fact that how does a Tonga take the sole responsibility of the members? Chishimba how?
Chishimba, Mainza Chimba, Chimba Tonga.
Can we see your NRC, please?
No, that's not a problem. In fact, we can display it on the
Where
screen.
is the Chishimba coming from all of a sudden?
Mike, I have said it here clearly.
Yeah.
Mainza Mbalas Mariki Chishimba.
But why didn't you believe me when I told you that I was Mike Hasagala?
No. Mike,
why didn't you believe me when I told you that I was Mike Hasagala?
You can understand kutira ndi mubemba mkonkonko mubemba fye.
When Dambara Chitonga
Whoa. No.
This is Tower Babylon over here.
I just think we're one Zambia, one nation. You will not exclude us from this.
It is what it is. And I'm actually getting to, I saw something very important, very funny also as well, where the Lozis and the Tongas were complaining. It's on social media. So they are saying that, I saw there's a drive-through parliament that happens on Hot FM with Cass and the other lady, I've forgotten her name, but
Katura.
Yeah, Katura. Thank you so very much. So they do this particular parliament, and so the motion was that the Tongas and the Lozis are complaining to say with them their Chimbuya is quite boring because it's which is not supposed to be a very good thing. No, according to them, it's not supposed to be a very good thing that people are dying, but they feel that it's rare to get to find a fun moment where umulozi, God forbid, the lozi dies, or that particular incident happens, and then you get them to get to see them do what the Bembas and the Ngonis are doing in that particular moment. So they're actually getting to propose that these two tribes should adopt the other tribe to go with,
or maybe
in terms of exchanging ichimbuyaship.
No, or maybe they pay. Or maybe, let's just look at it from that angle.
Yeah.
Hey, listen to me. Maybe, because the initial thing, Mike, is simple. That powder wouldn't have been on your face. But clearly, so maybe we Tongas pay. Because I'm just thinking, no, we do go through this.
Yeah.
And personally, I would just pay. This is not necessary. Like, you wouldn't have been at work like this. You even failed to read the news.
Imagine that.
Of this powder. If you had just paid, now lipstick here red, where more?
I don't even know why I'm here, because I actually announced that I was going on an indefinite leave due to this. This was entirely unfair.
Hey boy.
We continue today. We would like to call on Madam Chichi as
the chief
the deputy Kabatisha.
Yes.
According to her new role now.
The head Kabatisha as it stands.
She's been deputized. She's deputizing Honorable Binwa Mpundu because he remains as the head.
Yes, no, we need to respect that order. As the head Kabatisha at Crown TV. Madam Chichi, we are requesting, as we finish with the breakfast show, which is in its dying minutes, we want Mike baptized. We want the transmission team baptized.
I thank God. I thank God that whatever this powder, I love to call it magic powder because it gave me the powers to teleport. You won't see me here after
But
this.
now we found you.
I don't know.
He alleged that he wasn't going to come, but then we just had to get into his house and be like, we are going.
Here we are. We find ourselves rather at this particular juncture. But it is really, something that the Bembas and the Ngonis also just take pride in, the Chimbuya tradition, which brings unity and so much that it carries with it for the past I don't know how many generations. So this is something that we found. Others take offense at it, and we're telling you and we're asking you, why would you take offense? I mean, you would have been. It's not by choice that you are Bemba. It's not by choice that you are. You are Lozi, you are Tonga. But when you find certain traditional practices in place, you just have to go with the flow. And if people saw it fit, people from way back, why are you going to be finding offense in it? So it's just to oblige and just to comply with the rules of the game. And obviously, kudos to Crown TV Easterners for being so very cooperative. Unlike other people that we have seen, because people are actually getting to throw punches at each other elsewhere at that particular practice. For powder. I don't know why we ruined one powder, because I mean powder is powder, but I don't like it too though. But I wouldn't throw a punch. I was just want to comply.
Mr. Harry from Transmission, I was about to say Transmission is like, I just went out somewhere, someone asked, what's your surname? And then he gave them, it's like, okay, they poured powder on him. And this was a complete stranger. Hello, good morning. Hello, hi, good morning. If you're going to call a TV station, reduce the volume, please. Okay, I guess they had to run away. But yes, like what you're saying, because the fact is that maybe you don't know the person and you don't know if they have anger issues or something, then you pour powder on a random person. And we saw someone got beaten up.
Yeah, so also it actually aligns with what Chief Mazimawe mentioned to say there's also age that is supposed to be put into effect when we are getting to do these things. The issue of respect, really. In as much as it is a cultural practice, but let's consider those kind of factors that make it what it is. So I'll continue mentioning that Cosmas and go up to Chief Mazimawe and get to powder him. You get it right? It is against what the rules of the game are. We do have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yes, Mikey. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. Half Sagala.
But I see this, I imagine they had an antidote to it.
Okay, ndabwerera mnomo man.
Back to default settings. We can proudly say we are from Katete. Chief Jumbe.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mainza, good morning. Ndashi also good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead with your contribution this morning.
Oh, thank you. Mainza, Mike.
Yes.
Ndakamba pali mtu ava president ndiye amene zaenda naye.
Okay, Fitirizan.
Okay. Yeah, uyu mtu ava president I think ifati kudini ni klasi. Tankarabu ino kailolonga tuzituntumba kuti ukabwera ukapige chalo. Patukazive na drama za free education kamene zazichosa. Mwaiona maisha. And inekwati kudini niwana monga itadembu ino. Fiani sisi na tuvana tumuno tukuzise. Muri ya mene free education na mene tili ben drama mene tita struggling na economy. Kaili kuina kusaidi ngati kuliko buino. Ni sticha buino. So, yende na soche. I think I can end from there. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Okay, that one's gone. But you can still call us on 0979 958 392.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. That's CrownTV.
Yes, you are through to the Royal Breakfast Show. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, this is Mrs. Kalma calling from Kitwe.
Mrs. Kalma from Kitwe.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
I want to talk to Mainza.
Please. She's here.
Hello, Mainza. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
How are you?
I am very well, thank you. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Please, my baby sister. Understand it in Buya. Bembas and young Easterners. No tonga to Demba or Eastern.
Please.
And what to board on Mike is not white. Strictly something white. Please, I beg of you. Bye.
I've got a lawyer. I think we should.
She's gone. She's gone.
We need to seek legal intervention.
Mr. Mulonda on the line. And then Dola.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kalma.
Mr. Mulonda, good morning.
Good morning, Ndashi. Good morning, Mainza. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Yes, want to comment on signing into law of
5.
Yeah, mainly the education one. Yes, this is very, very important. I think what we lack in Zambia is the knowledge to help us in our national development. But then there is a comment which touched me very much by the president when he says here they want to come back to do meaning he has done what they didn't do when they were there, and he continues to do that. But again, on reflection, there was a very important sentence where he says, if we came as the party, his party, if we came when things were okay, I think it was after Mr. Manawasa, when everything was okay, they were forgiven their debts and whatever, and everything was, the economy was peaking. At that time, that's when the UPND came into power. Can you imagine what we could be today? This is what he said. And that actually, yes, on a reflection, I thought if 2021, all things were okay, no debt, no virus, no whatever. This time we could have improved than we are at the moment, because we've spent all these 4 or 5 years trying to correct those mistakes. I think that touched me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mulonda, all the way from the friendly city of Ndola, for giving us your thoughts and your comment on what we are discussing this particular morning. But Dash, how does it look like on the other side?
It looks interesting. Mainza, there was I don't know if it was a reprimand or just a reminder.
Being accused by
No. Evidence is there, actually.
Being accused by
I love the fact that I do have evidence.
No, what's good is we like videos, we like evidence, right?
Yeah.
So we need a video showing me spreading powder on my. But you know what? I love to take blows any day. I love to take blows. But listen,
Joy should do a very good job, because
Joy has got nothing to do.
She was the one that was capturing you.
No, Joy has
even
nothing
putting
to
that
do.
lipstick.
Joy has nothing.
Do you know what that costed me?
Mike.
Because some section of society, especially the other gender, they couldn't believe that it was all out of Ichimbuya, the lipstick.
Mike,
yeah.
I feel like those are your issues.
that were instigated by you.
Do not involve me. Again, do not include me. But you know what? Again, just to touch on what our previous caller talked about. Yes, 5 bills have been assented to law.
Exactly.
And that is something that does stand out. Especially, I'd just like to echo a little bit. I know we're in the 9 minutes of the show. Just to shed some light on the now education law, free education law, which a lot of people have come on and just spoken about, in that we hope, one of our writers with our messages, with our viewers, said we pray that it could be extended to also tertiary education, because it's pretty expensive. But also the burden of just being able to give children some decent education has now been, that burden has been released off of parents, and children get to have almost equal opportunities to just be able to get a good education. And I think a lot of people are very excited, especially about the free education law.
Exactly. And the reason why Mike was actually smeared in powder yesterday is because the fact that the president did also announce that there is going to be national mourning on the 9th of this month. And this is the press statement.
Now, the press statement for immediate release coming through from the Republic of Zambia reads: the government of the Republic of Zambia wishes to inform members of the public that the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has accorded an official funeral to the Ingwenyama Inkosi Yamakosi King Mpezeni Kwazwangendaba, the fourth of the Ngoni people of Eastern Province. The Ingwenyama Inkosi Yamakosi died at the University Teaching Hospital in Lusaka on Saturday, the 30th of May 2026, after an illness. President Hichilema has accorded Ingwenyama Inkosi Yamakosi King Mpezeni Kwazwangendaba IV the honor of an official funeral in recognition of his 44 years on the throne, as well as enormous and valuable contributions to the leadership of the Abangoni royal establishment, the Ngoni people, and nation at large in preserving unity, culture, and tradition. Government further wishes to inform members of the public that the funeral gathering of the Ingwenyama Inkosi Yamakosi is being held at Ekupendukeni Palace in Chipata district. The Abangoni royal establishment has since announced that the Ingwenyama Inkosi Yamakosi will be buried on Tuesday, the 9th of June 2026 at the Royal Resting Grounds at Feni in Chipata district. In this regard, President Hakainde Hichilema has declared Tuesday, the 9th of June 2026, a day of national mourning to be observed from 06 hours to 18 hours in honor of the late Ingwenyama Inkosi Yamakosi. Members of the public are therefore advised that during the period of national mourning, all programs of entertainment nature should be postponed while flags must fly at half-mast. This was originally signed by Patrick K. Kangwa, who is Secretary to the Cabinet. It was issued to the media yesterday, the 4th of June, 2026.
And with that, we've actually come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching this edition of the Royal Breakfast Show. It's the Friday edition. We've had so much fun educating, informing, and also entertaining you, but we have to leave and love you. Otherwise, you can catch us on our various shows, be it Valor Women, Sports Chatter tomorrow, and of course, we do have Social Vibes, which is bringing you all the entertainment that you need. Otherwise,
the top 10 countdown as well today, Friday.
Exactly. Otherwise, have yourself a fantastic weekend and don't do what we wouldn't do. Bye-bye.
So with all that, you want me to be in retirement? No, I can't. Because PF is what brought me here. And I think I will not die a peaceful death if I was to die today without restoring PF to what it is.